All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're talking about one of the biggest financial shakeups happening anywhere on the planet, Indonesia's ambitious plan to create a totally new, fully digital version of its currency, the digital rupiah.
So I want you to just think about this for a second. What if all the money in your country went completely digital, like no more cash at all? Everything is just in a digital wallet managed by the central bank. It's a huge, huge deal, right? It changes basically everything about how money works.
Well, for nearly 280 million people in Indonesia, this isn't just a what-if scenario. It's really happening. But here's where it gets super interesting. A huge study looked into what people think about it, and the answer was, well, kinda nothing. They weren't for it, they weren't against it, they were just neutral.
And when I say neutral, I mean really neutral. Just look at this. A whopping 99.7% of the entire public conversation is just flat. Now, this isn't people being lazy or not caring. The researchers call it an informational equilibrium. So what in the world is going on behind that number? That's the mystery we're cracking today.
Okay, so to solve this thing, we've got to look at the clues, and that's exactly what researchers did. They basically became digital detectives, sifting through thousands of public documents to figure out, what are people actually talking about when the digital rupiah comes up?
And how did they do it? Well, this wasn't your average online poll. We're talking about a seriously high-tech operation. A 2025 study used some powerful AI, feeding it more than 1,400 documents. They used one tool, BERTopic, to pull out the main themes, and another, IndoBERT, which is an AI that's been trained on the Indonesian language to figure out the sentiment. Pretty cool, right? So what did this AI detective work turn up? It found 3 big clues, 3 main topics that kept popping up over and over again. And these clues are the absolute key to understanding why everybody seems to be just waiting. Okay, clue number 1. This is the big one. It's all about something we use every day, banks. People are basically asking a super practical question. Hey, what's going to happen to my bank account, to my loans, to just paying for stuff?
The AI gave this theme a fancy name, core monetary function, but really, it just found words like bank, bayar, which means pay, and transaction, or transaction. So this tells us people aren't thinking about the cool tech behind it all. Nope, they're worried about stability. They're wondering, is this whole thing going to mess up the system we already trust and use every single day?
All right, on to clue number 2. This one zooms out a bit. See, the digital rupiah isn't just about updating Indonesia's money. It's also a direct reaction to the wild world of cryptocurrency. The AI picked up on a bunch of conversations, buzzing with words like crypto, blockchain, and DeFi. That's decentralized finance. It seems like people get that the digital rupiah is kind of a defensive move, right? To stop what's called cryptoization. Basically, to prevent private cryptos from taking over. So they see it as the safe, government-backed option. But all that jargon, it's also making things pretty confusing for a lot of folks.
And that brings us to our third and final clue. And honestly, this one might be the most fundamental of all. It boils down to one simple, powerful question. Can we actually trust this stuff? Is it safe?
The research found a whole theme centered on financial integrity, and the top words tell the whole story. Palsu, which means counterfeit, Siga, to prevent, and Berenthus, to eradicate. Think about it. Before anyone's going to get excited about this new digital money, they need to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that it can't be faked, hacked, or stolen. Trust is the name of the game.
Okay, so let's recap our clues. We've got worries about banks, the whole crypto situation, and a deep-seated fear of fakes and fraud. So now it's time to connect the dots. Let's solve this mystery. Why is everyone so neutral? Well, it turns out there's a classic theory that explains this perfectly. It's a cool idea called the diffusion of innovation theory. It's basically a roadmap for how any new technology or idea gets adopted by people. And what it says is, for something new to really take off, it has to clear a few specific hurdles first. And for the digital rupiah, this theory points to 2 giant hurdles. First up, high complexity. I mean, all this talk about blockchain and DeFi, it's just plain confusing for most of us. And the second one is low observability. You can't see it, you can't touch it, the benefits aren't real yet. For now, it's just this abstract concept. So, there's our verdict. It's not that people don't care. Not at all. It's actually a super logical wait-and-see approach. I mean, think about it. If something is really confusing and you can't see how it's going to benefit you, well, staying neutral and waiting for more info is probably the smartest thing to do, right? Okay, so if that's the problem, what's the fix? The great thing about this study is it doesn't just point out the issue. It actually lays out a clear roadmap for Bank Indonesia, a way to turn all that wait and see neutrality into real positive support.
It really comes down to two key actions. Step 1, make it simple. Forget all the techie jargon. Just talk about how this actually helps people in their daily lives. Bridge that complexity gap. And step 2, show, don't just tell. Reinforce that observability. Roll out pilot programs, give clear examples, and actually demonstrate that it's safe and makes life easier.
So at the end of the day, what this all really tells us is that launching a digital currency is so much more than a tech problem. It's a trust problem. It's all about building that bridge between a new idea and the people it's supposed to serve. And that kind of leaves us with one big question to chew on, not just for Indonesia, but for all of us. What would it take for you to trust a digital dollar, a digital euro, or any digital version of your own money?